I'm John.
So welcome back if you've been here before, and if you are brand new, then thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
We make a lot of Disney content, some other content sprinkled in, pretty much whatever we feel like.
Yep.
So we hope that you would like to stick around. Just hit the little subscribe button there and you can watch all of our videos.
Absolutely.
So we love doing these kind of videos, and you'll know by the title that this is a review of Teppan Edo. So we've categorised our, well, we do our rating by category. If you've seen any of our videos before, you'll know what the categories are. Just helps us kind of organise our thoughts a little bit better.
Absolutely, give us something to think about, yeah, definitely.
So we're just going to kick it straight off with location.
Okay, so it's in Epcot, around the World Showcase.
Yeah, so it's in the Japan Pavilion, which is smack bang in the middle of the World Showcase.
Yep, yeah, so you could take your boat over if you want to. It would be nice and easy.
But the boat drops you off in the America Pavilion, so it's just one pavilion over from that, so it's nice and easy.
Yeah, the only thing I would say about location, if you going in just for dinner and the boat's really busy, it will take a long time to walk around the World Showcase because it is in the middle.
Yeah,
so
depending on what time you've booked for as well.
Yeah, so if you plan your day around your dinner like we do, it won't make any difference because we probably won't at the World Showcase. But if you're doing something else that day and you're just going in just for that, it might, you just bear in mind that it might take you a while to walk around.
So Teppan Edo is the big building you see in Japan. We'll insert a little picture.
You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. And it's on top of the main Japan shop.
Yes.
So you can walk all the way through.
Yeah.
So you head up the steps and it's right there.
Yep.
So that makes it a perfect viewing spot. If you have dinner just before the fireworks, you could stroll out and see them from there and you'd have a great view.
No, absolutely, yeah, really good idea. So, yeah, book a dinner just before fireworks and have it afterwards, that'd be a really good idea, yeah.
So we've rated location. We've said before, location is a really tricky one to rate because it is where it is and there's nothing they can really do about it. However, because of it being smack bang in the middle of the World Showcase, being a little bit of a distance, and a lot of the time we pop in to Epcot for dinner.
Yeah, no, definitely, we do a lot, so that's what I mentioned. If you're just doing that, what we do a lot, and the boat's not going for any reason, you just got to allow time to go through it, to go around halfway, because no other way.
So I rated it, because of those things, I rated it a 3.5.
I also rated it a 3.5.
Now if you watch our videos, you will know that is rare.
Yeah.
We don't very often agree, so
no.
That's nice. Okay, so next category. Okay, so atmosphere.
Yes.
So the waiting area for Teppan Edo is shared with Tokyo Dining.
It is.
It's not huge.
It's really busy. It gets really busy because you've got two restaurants. Say on the same waiting area, it can get really busy.
Yeah, so when we went there, we'll touch on it a little bit later, but all of the seats were taken in the waiting area, and other than standing smack bang in the middle of the room, there's not really anywhere to wait.
No. The buzzer, you get given the buzzer, we'll probably mention it later on, but that will work outside, so you can sit on the steps like we did. There's no outside seats because obviously a type of restaurant, but yeah, you can hang out on the steps, what we did.
Yeah, so we didn't see that they had like a separate bar or waiting area that you could go and have a drink, but we might have just missed it, but I did do a little bit of research to see if we had
I don't think there is. I can't remember seeing one. No, I don't think there is. Okay,
so it's kind of like a cook in front of you kind of situation.
Yeah.
So you sat around a table and the chef prepares your food on like a cooking station.
Like a hot pad sort of good or sort of type.
Yeah, which is really, really fun. It creates a really fun atmosphere, but me and John went as a couple. Lots of people probably go to this restaurant as a couple. So you're then paired up with other families so that they can utilise their space.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a well point. If you go with just two of you, you'll be sat with potentially two different couples, what's absolutely fine. Just something to be aware of. It
does just mean that the atmosphere would be different each time you go. So, as an example, not as a rule, but we were paired with a family of three and another couple. And the family of three were just quieter, as as a family, I assume.
Yeah.
Maybe they were a little uncomfortable, I'm not sure, but they were very, very quiet.
Yeah, they were.
And that does affect the atmosphere.
Absolutely. Having said that, if you've got a people on your table that are not quieter and they're up for a good laugh, it could be a really good thing.
Yeah.
It's I will mention it again, but I think every time you go and the people you sat on the same table with, or a different chef, it will be a completely different experience.
Yeah.
We'll probably mention it again, but absolutely.
Yeah. So other than the quiet family and that, we did find it really, really fun.
It was a lot of fun. The chef makes it. We had a she's have a play with food and make things happen, and that was really fun.
Yeah, and it's really, I don't think I've ever been in a situation before where I've watched somebody cook my food. I mean, to some extent we have.
Yeah.
Like Morimoto Asia, you kind of did.
Yeah.
But like to prepare your entire meal in front
Yeah.
of you,
Yeah.
to exactly how you like it.
Absolutely.
I've never been in a situation where I've experienced that before.
Yeah.
So it was a fun experience.
Yeah,
So a
no,
nice
absolutely.
atmosphere in that sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you've got 2 cooking stations per room.
Mm-hmm.
So if the building, you got like little tiny rooms, and you got 2 cooking stations per room. What's really nice, really.
It kind of felt like, so obviously you had our group, so us, the other couple, and
Yeah.
the family of 3, and then across the way it seemed like 2 families maybe.
Yeah.
And they were having a blast.
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
were very rowdy, but it also kind of feels more private because you're in your own little room.
Absolutely, yeah.
Although it's not private dining. It felt more special, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you were secluded off from the big main dining
Absolutely.
area.
Yeah.
So I think, are we ready to rate?
I reckon we are. Yeah.
Okay, so for atmosphere, I gave it a 4. I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was fun and I liked the experience, so.
Yeah, I mean, I went slightly less. I went 3.5, and I think I probably knocked the half off, because I think if you do get a slightly quieter people you sat with, it can affect the atmosphere, because you don't want to be too noisy. Not to say shouting from if you're not, but you want to have a conversation. If they not have a conversation with you, it can be a bit more awkward.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our next category is food quality.
Yep.
Do you want to go?
Yeah. Well, I think we all had. I had noodles and steak and shrimp.
Yeah, we went for a combination.
Yeah, what was recommended to us, and I really liked it. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely no complaints on food quality from my point.
And they were cooking it in front of you, so you could see everything was fresh, everything was clean, everything was tidy. It was, fun to watch them cook while you were there. So.
Absolutely, yeah. They do things like the chef made a volcano, and the steam coming off the volcano. Other videos I've seen, they make it all off melt, and they just like Mickey Mouse, and so it's like gimmicks of.
Yeah, you were kind of cheering along with her as she did it, and she
yeah.
kind of got everybody involved, which was nice.
Yeah, she asked a lot of questions. How we like you said, how we like our steak cooked, and everyone else asked and got involved with everyone.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, so I love noodles. It is a personal love of mine. I probably could eat noodles 6 days out of 7. So I was completely in for the noodles. The steak was really good. I'm not normally one to pick shrimp, but for some reason
it was just one of the combination on it.
Yeah, so it was, I think, steak and shrimp, chicken and shrimp, or steak and chicken.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to pick chicken, so so I went for steak and shrimp, but I enjoyed it, and it was all cooked to perfection.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't complain about the food. The food was stunning. It was really nice. What was that sauce was called?
Oh, yum yum sauce.
That was really nice, and you're just going back to dip, weren't you?
Yeah, you were dipping everything. We were dipping rice, we were dipping noodles.
I think we've asked for an extra sort of tub of it, or not a tub, but a pot of it. Yeah, that was
really delicious.
It was,
Get the yum yum sauce. I think everybody gets the yum yum sauce, actually. It comes in like a little like little pots that kind of slot together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, so we've rated food quality.
Give what?
I rated it a 3.5. Now, feel like I have to argue my point, so I'm gonna. So we're rating out of 5, so 3.5 is pretty good.
Yeah.
My argument is that it was noodles and steak.
Okay.
So, and the choices, so like for dessert, you could have mousse or mousse.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah.
And they do lots of other desserts in Japan. We've had a look, and we like, is it mochi? I don't know what it's called. But we like that.
The ball chocolate, yeah.
So it was just a bit disappointing that the only options for dessert were mousse cake.
That's fair enough, yeah. I mean, 3.5 is a good score. It's over average.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't compare to that. I went slightly higher, not much higher. I went with 4. So I agree with what you're saying, you know, but the food itself, what we had, was really nice.
Yeah, but just the choices were not there. So customer service.
Next category, yeah.
Yeah. So we both said that we felt a little bit rushed. I think this is probably just the style of the dining rather than, I don't think the staff or the cast members were rushing us.
I think it felt rushed because there were so many people waiting at waiting area. I mean, we say we felt rushed, but then we were waiting to get served because we were waiting outside of the buzzer. So in a way it felt rushed because we got sat at the table and it wasn't that long that we didn't have starters. We went for main and dessert, but it felt like we could eat, go.
Well, once you've eaten your main, or once they've served up your main, they pack everything up and the chef leaves, which I don't know what else I would expect them to do, but because they've packed up and they've left, especially on our table, you're then kind of left in silence, like, okay.
But especially with the couple we just mentioned, the other family, they were very quiet and they only ate their main and left.
Yeah.
So it was just left for me and you and another couple.
The other couple were right at the other side of the table as well, so we were shouting to talk to each other. So then, I don't know, it wasn't like really rushed, it just, I think packed up and went, and then it was kind of awkward.
I think a combination of the fact that everyone was going anyway, because the table opposite was going and the family were leaving, and it was late at night, so they were all packing away. It just felt that we were rushed, and we probably wasn't. It just felt that we were okay, well, we eat and we go then, rather than just take our time like we would do.
We normally would sit and chill and have a drink, you know.
But that could just be honest. That might just be on our experience rather than the norm, sort of. You know, because it was late at night and whatever. But yeah, it was absolutely a point.
Yeah.
You know?
And John mentioned briefly just then there was a wait, like I think probably about 40 minutes before we were seated. And with the waiting room situation, there was nowhere for us to wait, so we went and sat outside on the steps, and there were other families doing that as well. So
no, I mean, for customer service, absolutely valid point we said, but the chef, what we had was amazing. She certainly spent the time asking us questions and you know, food allergies and that sort of stuff. And like I said, I think that was mainly to do with that, rather than I don't know, California grill where everything's just that much better, you know.
Yeah, and they were particularly good at like noticing when you'd run out of a drink, or like checking if you needed any extra sauces and things like that.
I think like we said, it's really difficult to be bad customer service in Orlando and Florida and Disney, because you know, it's so good everywhere, and I was saying it was bad because it wasn't bad. It was there
are just things that could be better.
Yeah, we've had better customer service in other restaurants, that's all.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, and I think that the score is going to reflect that.
So I gave it a 4. I think the wait didn't really bother us that day, but I think another day maybe it would have. And also I don't particularly like to feel rushed at dinner. No,
fair enough. And I gave it 3, and like you just actually argue your point, I think I have to sort of say 3 is at the lower end that I would normally give a customer service in Florida, but it wasn't bad, and it's it wasn't the best either. So I'm happy year 3 is unfortunately what I gave it.
I think we're feeling guilty.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So theming, I'm gonna butcher this word. Let me just read it. So it's based on a hibachi grill.
Well done.
I don't know if that's called, but I feel like these restaurants are particularly popular in Japan.
Yep.
We have obviously never been to one. I've never been to Japan. We live in the countryside, we don't get things like this. Like, maybe in cities in England you have these restaurants, but I've never even seen one.
Even the closest city to us, I don't think we've got one.
I wouldn't think so. No, so we've never been, so it felt a bit harsh commenting on the theming, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
Apparently, because we don't know, Teppan Edo, I'm just gonna read from my list. Apparently so the chefs kind of demonstrate the spirit of what a Teppan Edo, restaurant is about.
Yeah.
We felt like they probably did.
We've got nothing to compare it to, so
yeah,
I take their word for it, and I guess it's what it is.
We got chopsticks, that felt nice.
It felt genuine.
It felt genuine.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair thing to say, actually, because that's kind of what the World Showcase is for, is to showcase the world.
Absolutely, and like we said in other videos, it's really difficult, or we can comment on England Pavilion, it's really difficult to get all the historic sort of timings spot on, so it felt genuine. I guess that's I think
that's probably all that matters.
Yeah.
And like, you go there and you think, if you can go there and feel like, okay, this is probably how they do it in Japan, for me that feels good enough.
Absolutely.
They had lots of like Japanese art and Japanese decoration, and there was drawings on the wall that were Japanese, so... Absolutely,
yeah, like I said before, they had 2 cooking stations per room, and a lot of different dining rooms, but yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, and I think this is for the whole of the World Showcase, not just for the Japan Pavilion, but I do think it's important. I do think it's important to mention that because of the cultural programme at Disney World, the cast members that work at Teppan Edo Tokyo Dining in the Japan Pavilion are from Japan.
Obviously, yeah, I mean, we should have mentioned that, but I feel like that goes without saying.
Yeah, but it does make you feel like if you had a question about Japan, Japan, you could ask, or I don't know, the way that they know a lot more about the culture than we do, so they help to make it feel more genuine.
Absolutely, but that's the same with all the
it is for the whole bit, but we haven't mentioned before, so I just thought we should touch
fair enough.
And so for theming, I gave it a 4. I really have nothing to compare it to, so I went 4.
I went 4.5. So yeah, on exactly the same cases, I got nothing to compare it to, and it felt genuine, so yeah.
Okay, so I think our next category is value for money.
Yeah, this is a difficult one.
I think we disagree on this a little, don't we?
Yeah, maybe so. Okay,
so do you want to make your point first, and then I'll just disagree with you?
I think my point is, for experience, it's value for money for your experience, because I think that's what you're paying for rather than just the food.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do understand, like, the experience was enjoyable, I did like it. I just think the food, for the price, I think, like, the combination things we had were like $37.
Yeah.
And essentially it's chicken and a few shrimp, steak and a few shrimp.
Yeah.
But even the chicken and the shrimp was $36.
It was, yeah.
I just don't know if I think that is worth $37. Although obviously you've got to expect a bump in price because you've got basically your own chef.
And you're in a theme park.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about theme park prices. But you've got your own chef, so you expect a bump. I just don't think, if you're just thinking on food, I don't think it's worth it. But if you're thinking on the experience, then it probably is.
No, I think I agree. I don't think we disagree that much. I think if you take the experience and food, it's worth it. But if it's just your food you're going for, then it wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's just so it's. Considering table service and dining plan. Yeah. So if you consider the dining plan, it is 1 table service.
Yeah.
which is great for an experienced dining.
Absolutely.
You can't get character dining for that, so
No.
it is good. However, if you look at it being chicken and noodles or steak and noodles, then I probably would suggest the quick service that they have
If
there.
you're not bothered about the experience, the fact that you're getting cooked in front of you and the good stuff that the chef does and the fun of that, if you're not bothered about that, I'd agree with you because it's the same sort of food.
Yeah.
You know, a quick service would probably be the same. Or that what's that one ever called? The same pavilion, Tokyo dining. That's table as well. So if you're not bothered about the experience, either go for quick service or the table service. Tokyo dining, because it's only one table service as well.
Yeah. If you're thinking about whether it's worth the dining plan credit, though, I would say it is.
Absolutely, for the experience, you've got to do it at least once, yeah.
Because there's not, I can't think of many other dining experiences that you can get for one table service credit, actually.
No.
And I think that is partly why we chose this one, because of the experience.
But if something we haven't done, we want to experience something we haven't done, and that's the point, yeah.
Yeah, so for value for money, I would say not really, but for dining plan value, I would probably say yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is very confusing, but that's how
I don't think we disagree that much on that, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
look at us agreeing. Okay, so I rated it a 3, probably mostly because of it just being steak and noodles.
Yeah, I took it a bit more because of an experience, so I was happy to pay a bit more, so 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you visit again?
I would have, however, if I go, it wouldn't be a next time. I'd want to go with a larger group, 4 or 6 of us. If there's 6 of us or 4 of us are going, because it feels like a bit more like it's, you know, we sat with the people we know and we haven't talked to people, so the experience will be different, as well as the chef will be different every time you go. So yeah, I would, but not every time I go, not next time I go, and maybe in a larger group.
Okay, so I kind of agree. I think I wouldn't be against trying it again. So I think if like you're thinking yes or no, I would kind of be a because I think I would like to try Tokyo dining instead, and then I would have something to compare it to.
Yeah.
And then I think that would answer this question for me.
Okay.
Because I don't think I need the experience again, like for another 4 years, maybe 5 years. So I don't need to go again. And there's so many other restaurants in Disney that I just think, for me, I enjoyed the food, don't get me wrong, loved the noodles and loved the chicken, but I love noodles I cook at home.
Yeah.
So I would say probably more no, but
Okay.
I'm happy to revisit it again in the future.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So our overall scores, I think, are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Look at us agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of us. Okay, so it was a
3.5.
3.6.
Okay, 3.5.
It's a 3.6. And I do think that this, like, it is right.
Yeah, it wasn't the best restaurant I had when I was there, but I don't think there's other worse restaurants that I've been to, maybe not in Disney, but worse that I've been to.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. It wasn't disgusting.
No, the food was nice.
I would definitely recommend it to somebody that hasn't been.
Absolutely, and that's why I think we feel a bit bad we're only giving it a 3.6 or whatever, because it wasn't bad, it just, I think, it wasn't for us maybe, and because we felt a bit rushed, it might have been a different experience next if we would go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so I hope this is helpful. Let us know if you've been to Teppan Edo and if you had a good experience,
Absolutely.
a bad experience, or like me, an indifferent kind of experience. I'd really like to know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or is it on your list to visit? Because if it is, don't let this put you off, because it was definitely a good experience.
Absolutely it was a good experience. It's just certain things that wasn't lining up for us rather than other restaurants did.
Yeah, so we hope you've enjoyed this, and we will see you next time.
Absolutely, thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.